Hello and welcome, and thanks for stepping into my design room. My name is Jerome Raska, and I'm excited to be here today to share with you a cascading wedding bouquet. We're going to take you through the steps of prepping some of the product as well as the bouquet handle itself. First, we're going to take a wedding bell bouquet holder and we're going to do some sort of treatment to the handle. Every bride wants to have some sort of treatment done to the handle so that you're not holding on to an inexpensive plastic holder. Today we're going to take the option of using some flat wire, and simply by inserting it here into the hollow handle of this bouquet holder and then holding it and twisting it very simply around, such as this, to get started, sliding it down on the handle and then continue to wrap all the way to get a very finished look. The next thing we're going to do is show some of the simple techniques to prep succulents to add to a wedding bouquet, a very popular component for many of today's brides. We're simply going to take a wooden pick available to us from the industry and dip it into some hot glue. After dipping it in and keeping it a very light application, you simply insert it into the side of the succulent. The glue seals quickly and becomes very adhered to the wood stick. So we can continue to do that yet again. And you just do that on all the succulents that you're going to be adding into your wedding bouquet. Simply inserting that into it, not up the main stem, but to the side of it, and therefore it secures in nicely. The glue will secure the pick into it, and when the pick goes into the wet floral foam, the wood pick will swell, serving as an anchor, and they will be very secure in your wedding bouquets. After your handle is prepped on the bridal bouquet holder and some of your other components such as the succulents are ready to be used, then you can go ahead and soak your bridal bouquet holder. The best way to do it is to take a vessel such as this bucket filled with preservative water, place the bouquet holder in on the surface of the water and let it submerge on its own free will. That way, when it's all the way down and you know that it has absorbed the maximum amount of water possible. Every bridal bouquet needs as much water as possible. So once it has submerged, then you can bring out the bouquet holder and begin your designing process. When creating the cascade style bouquet, one of the first things I enjoy doing is adding the cascade part of the bouquet. In this particular case, we're going to be using fresh ivy. Fresh ivy is a natural for cascading bouquets just because even when it grows, it cascades. So it really blends itself well to this style of bouquet holder and design for a wedding. Once the cascade of ivy has been placed in, we then want to begin with some of our larger focal flowers. In this case, we're using these absolutely incredible peonies that are available to us from Mayesh. Cutting those flowers on an angle, placing them in the bouquet, creating a focal point, and then building upon that. Always removing the extra foliage, of course, because we want to make sure that the flowers will last their maximum length, and by removing the foliage, it helps with the process of keeping the flowers last a little longer. It's going to look a little funny at first when you first start putting flowers into the bouquet because you're starting with some of the different lines in the bouquet. Notice the strong focal point, and then the parameter of the bouquet is starting to bring shape to what will eventually be a very full cascading bouquet. It's important that those first placements are accurate because really it does set the actual parameters for how the whole bouquet will come in completion. After we've added those flowers in, we'll begin to add some of the beautiful ranunculus. Those two are, in many cases, referred to by some of our brides, although not really true, as miniature peonies because of the petal count and the wonderful layers that the flower itself has. Many of our clients come in and say, I want those miniature peonies, and it's kind of funny to let them realize that they're actually a ranunculus. In placing those flowers in, you can see how also we're kind of going in between the focal flowers that were there to get those flowers to begin to form that roundness of the bouquet and then following through on the cascade. The next flowers we're going to be adding in are some of the gorgeous David Austin garden roses. David Austin is one of the premier suppliers of the Mayesh company, and they supply us as professionals with some of the most gorgeous garden roses available. Not only are they beautiful to look at, but the most valued asset that they possess is their wonderful fresh fragrance. So many of our clients come in and are just in awe over the fragrance that the garden roses possess. Notice once the parameter has been set, all the other flowers are being placed within those parameters. Many of today's brides are interested in having a collection of different flowers, not just varieties, but also colors in their bridal bouquet. Not like the days of the past where many of them wanted a monochromatic bouquet. So many of them today are looking for that wonderful palette of colors. Every variety of garden rose has its different characteristics, one of which several of them have a fair amount of thorns on them. Sometimes the thorns, in my opinion, kind of contribute to the beautiful fragrance of the flower. You know, everything that's great comes with pain, and so the petals are beautiful, but sometimes the thorns can be really painful. You can see when you put them into the bouquet how beautiful the different colors work well together. This particular variety I'm using right here is called Miranda. It's a beautiful David Austin rose. At this point, we can go ahead and add the succulents, which we had prepared earlier on the wooden stick. So you can add those in, and as I said earlier, when the wood stick goes into the floral foam, it secures because the wood becomes moist from the foam and therefore locks into place. You can see how this texture added in is a nice dimension added in with the bouquet. So many of the brides today love succulents worked into their bouquets as well as their centerpieces. And this is certainly a wonderful addition to these gorgeous premium flowers of David Austin roses and peonies. After you have made the majority of the insertions into your bouquet, it's always great to finish off the back of the bouquet. Today we're going to use a little bit of this wonderful airy pine in the back to simply finish off the bouquet. Adding this collar of foliage on the back will not only add an interesting texture, but it helps support the back flowers of this bouquet and give it another dimension as the bouquet is being held by the bride. Thank you for coming into my design room today, and I hope you enjoyed learning just a few little tips and tricks about putting together a nice traditional cascade bouquet for any of your bride's special day. Remember, Mayesh, they have some of the most exquisite and unique flowers available for your use, and your clients will be excited not only by the beauty of the flower, but the fragrance of those gorgeous David Austin roses.